and welcome back to Live with Singular. My name is Steven, and as always, I am joined by what I affectionately call my right-hand rock star, Catherine. And behind the scenes, we have Travis, as always, making sure we have great-looking streams that work each and every time. And we are going to do the What's New section, as we always do to start off. Catherine gives us an update of those cool things that we're doing within the platform. Sometimes it has to do with partners or different projects. And then after that, we are going to set the table for our guest today from Switcher.ai, Sergey. He's going to show us a really cool piece of software. I'm very excited to take a look at it. We got sort of a sneak preview, saw some of the basics in our pre-show. I think it was last week. Very clean UI. I won't say anything more than that. I'll let Sergey really go into the details. I will hand it off to Catherine, and she's going to give us a little update on what's new in Singular. Take it away.
Thanks, Stephen. Okay, so a couple things. Our recent case study is pretty interesting. Italy's Liga Pro Soccer League went live with custom Singular graphics for their Series C broadcasts. Service providers Video Progetti launched the new graphics within just a few weeks before production, and they're using them very easily and at scale across various games. They've noted that not only that have they been able to deploy it as a cloud solution, which is kind of our wheelhouse, but they also can port it to an on-premise workflow if they need to. And Stephen can attest to this, but we really like to see teams embracing the flexibility of Singular to adapt to changing workflow needs, because a lot of productions now they have that. There's flexibility across different projects, different events. And then recently we had a live Q&A webinar with Stephen was there, Stephen and I, and a couple others, and it featured a lot of really, really interesting questions. We encourage you, if you're interested, to attend these sessions and ask questions. We enjoy the rare opportunity to do like real-time demos instead of sending you videos on how to do things in response to questions. It's just an interesting place to play with our community. And then lastly, some of our team members are going to be at Web Summit in Lisbon, Portugal on November 15th. And if you happen to be in the area, if you happen to be there, we recommend giving the show a visit. It seems like it's always kind of at the cutting edge of tech in our space, as our space in the broadcast world continues to accept web technology, and then just the web in general. So that's it for what's new.
Cool. Well, we're just going to keep rolling right along. We're going to jump over to Switcher.ai, a demo from Sergey, and we're happy to have him on our live stream today. So welcome, Sergey. Thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Steve. Really great to be here, and I'm excited to show you the Switcher.ai.
Cool.
Yeah, we're excited to see it.
Yeah. So I'm Sergey Maliuk. I'm CEO of Switcher.ai, and Switcher.ai is a broadcast-grade live production switcher in the cloud. It allows to create multi-camera video production very easily from a browser with no additional hardware required. So here's a Switcher.ai UI. Basically, what you're looking right now is our production screen, which allows to producers to control their production. The entire production server is running on AWS, which assures the reliability and the quality of the streaming, and control UIs in the browser, so it could be run anywhere on any computer, and it's very easy to use. This product has been built for remote production workflows, and it's truly collaborative. Meaning that it has a built-in intercom. I have this widget on the right where you can see me twice. I have my laptop over here, which is joined as as another contributor to the show. And basically, if there was another person, we could have spoken to each other very easily as we produce this, and we can see the same UI, and we can work on the production collaboratively, which is pretty unique, we believe. And adding new users is very easy. You can just invite them by email. And we have two roles in the system. We have editor role and guest role, which I'm going to talk
cool.
in a bit. In terms of the UI, it's pretty traditional. We have the program output. This is basically what your viewers are seeing. We have the preview. Our preview is interactive, meaning that that's basically the place where you compose your shots. So right now I have this media with Big Wag Bunny playing in my preview. I can press send to program, and it's going to be visible to all my viewers. Or I can, just pick one of their layout templates here, and I can compose some other scenes. So I can make a picture-in-picture effectively. I want this video on my big screen, and I want this guy on a lower right, and I can send it to program. We have 25 built-in scenes in a product, but also we have a feature which allows to create any custom scenes using what you see is what you get editor. So we are very flexible in the term. In terms of so down the bottom there are 4 essential modules for production. There are inputs, audio, graphics, and stream. And I'm going to briefly talk about each of them. So inputs is basically where you add your camera inputs, and we are very versatile in terms of supported input types. We support all sort of industry standard protocols such as SRT, RTMP, and Zixi for bringing live inputs into the product. We also have media, which allows to create playlists and play. Automate video playback in the cloud very easily. We provide our users storage where they can upload their assets and keep for production. We also have a feature called Remote Guest, which is very similar to vMix Call. If you're familiar with, currently use it for this production. So the way Remote Guest work is basically I can take one of the collaborators on this project and add them as an input. So for instance, I'm going to go ahead and add the Remote Guest here, which is my other laptop sitting right next to me. And you can see the video has appeared. We're using WebRTC technology underneath, so the latency is super low. And you can add up to 5 remote camera inputs to your production. The other option we offer is our own encoders, which we built for all major platforms such as iOS, Android, Windows, and Mac. And our own encoders have very low latency, but also enhanced functionality. We use SRT under the hood in our encoders, and it allows to reliably deliver streams to our cloud instance. And our encoders are very easy to use. So I have the Switcher.ai encoder input over here. It has its own unique ID. So I'm going to go ahead and open my QuickTime player, which is currently mirroring the screen of my iPhone over here. I already populated this ID in here. So it's very similar to Zoom. So you can just enter the stream ID, or you can share the stream ID via URL. I would press get started on my iPhone and start broadcast. And you can see video coming in through my iPhone over here. The latency is a little higher than WebRTC, but it's it has higher reliability, and video quality is actually much better. That's a neat feature we have in in Switcher encoder is automatic synchronization. So we send in timestamps alongside the video, which allows us to resynchronize all the streams coming into Switcher.live. So if I had multiple inputs coming in through my Switcher encoder, I could have enabled auto switcher synchronization here. And if all the cameras were placed in the same location, all the inputs would be frame accurate, which is essential for production if you think about it.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's all my inputs. Audio is pretty traditional. It's it's faders and gain levels. You can adjust all the levels. We have a PFL, which to here's each individual stream and or mix, and it's on of all paradigm, meaning that you can send any input to program permanently, or you can make the video audio to follow the audio to follow video as you make production. And most excitingly, I would like to show our graphics, which is powered by overlays.uno and Singular. It's very easy to use. As you can see right now, I have this little live bug in the top left corner. It's coming actually from overlays.uno. Kudos to Steve. He had designed really nice pack of stream switcher graphics. So I have it over here. I can easily control it from overlays.uno UI. So let's say I want to lower third. I can set it over here and go back to my switcher tab, and it will instantly appear here. And now in my program, I have the graphics controller in the middle. I can push, and voila! Now it's on program. You can see it. Everyone can see it on the stream. Adding
Sergey, I have a quick question here. Did that lower animate in? It's a little hard to see because of the screen share situation, but it didn't just fade in and it animated in, right? So you're using the API. That's awesome.
Yeah, exactly. You can control this animation from overlays.uno or Singular.live. It's it's all built in, which is great. Basically, you can add up to 4 of such layers simultaneously. So if you need, to overlay multiple, overlays.uno graphics or Singular.live, you can do so. Also, you can overlay any HTML embed. So, for instance, if you need YouTube player, for instance, you can put it in your production via this feature very easily. And adding new overlays is super simple. You just go to overlays.uno, you pick one of the templates. Grab a random one, take it, control URL, put it in as a UI, and it's instantly available in the program. You can switch between multiple graphics down here. So I'm on layer 2. I'm going to push it to production, and I'm going to switch to layer 1, and, pull it. And we have some automation here, so you can actually enable and disable auto update, which either lock your program output to whatever you have decided it to be, so it wouldn't automatically read the updates from overlays.uno or Singular, or you can put it on, and then everything that appearing in your overlays.uno would automatically appear on program. And the other automation we have is auto hide, meaning that you can put the graphics for 5 seconds and then pull it back very easily.
That's cool.
That's all I have on graphics. And in terms of streaming, we allow to stream up to 5 destinations. We support all major industry protocols. We support RTMP, SRT, and Zixi in all possible directions. RTMP pull and push, SRT caller and listener, and Zixi pull and push. We also have native integration with YouTube, so you can easily pair your Switcher.ai account to your YouTube account and control live stream from there. And we have integration with Max, which is API-driven live streaming platform. If you're not familiar with things like Postman and making API calls, just use us, Max, and but you want to use custom functionality of the Max. Our UI simplifies the workflow much. And the other thing we have is director view, which is basically your program output in super low latency for monitoring purposes. This is mostly used for remote monitoring, as I said, and for instance, if you have technical directors somewhere in another location, and you don't want them to see the whole UI, you just want them to see the program output and be able to give you directions, you can just send them this URL, which could be password protected, and they will be able to see output the same way as you see it in production.
That's awesome. That's cool background too. Little detail.
Yeah. Thank you. And last but not least, it's very easy to get started with Switcher.ai. We offer a 14-day free trial, and creating a project is super simple. You just log into your account, you press Add Project button, you give it a name, select region, resolution. We support up to 4K, by the way. Pick one of the plans and put your credit card information. And that's it. In 3 minutes, you will have a fully ready production cloud instance, for your needs.
Beautiful UI. I really like it.
Thank you.
We were talking about before a dark mode. Is that something that you can show us, or is that something that was on your
roadmap? Roadmap?
Yeah. Roadmap. That's what it was.
It's something that people have been asking for a lot because live production studio is often used in the dark environment. We had the dark mode in our early versions, but we had to pull it back because it was a little tricky to support. But we're going to introduce it very soon. It's something that definitely important, we think.
Cool.
It's funny when we've done so many of these interesting demos of partners that use Singular as a sort of add-on to their offering, and I'm watching Sergey go through the demo, and there's just zero confusion. I mean, none. I mean, it's a very well thought out workflow, very easy to understand. Within what, Catherine, I'd say 7 minutes, 8 minutes, Sergey covered all of the key points of the UI with. I mean, I scratch my head to ask what question I want to ask because it's all right in front of me. It's very, very elegantly done.
Sorry, Steve. I should have left some room for questions.
I remind people that are watching this too. Like, obviously, we're doing a screen share and we're streaming, so if you see some latency in the video, that's understandable. But extremely low latency. And you mentioned you're doing the streams right now with WebRTC, or at least you were off the phone, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so there are multiple options when you get to the latency. Basically, there's always trade-off of video quality and latency.
Yeah.
If you need the low latency, you would use remote guest, which is powered by WebRTC, and it's basically 300 milliseconds latency to the input, and maybe another 200 milliseconds to process and 300 milliseconds to output. So end to end, it will be about 800 milliseconds. But the video quality will be the same as you see on Zoom, essentially. Which is not super helpful for broadcast grade production. So the next step would be to use our encoders, which are optimized for latency. If you stream with one of our encoders, latency on the input will be about 700 milliseconds plus another 500 milliseconds to the output. So it's 1.2 milliseconds. You are adding 500 milliseconds latency, but in fact you are receiving much higher quality. You have much more control, and actually. Something I forgot to mention, if you use a switcher encoder, you can send the program output back to your contributors, meaning they can see what your program output, and actually you can make them, communicate the same way as they communicate with Zoom. So, it's something our users are, considering. Some use one way, others use another way, and it's all based, on their workflow, depending on how important is the quality and how important is latency for them.
Mm-hmm. And if you're in little frames like this on one of your shows, you probably don't need 4K video either, so you can make that trade-off. Yeah, it's cool that you have that flexibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, my second monitor here, I just have your site up with some of the specs and stuff. Really, really compelling offering. I really, really enjoyed the walkthrough. Very cool. Is there any questions, Travis, on the back end, behind the scenes?
He told me no, nothing's coming in because I think everything was sort of addressed pretty cleanly.
It's so good. It's so good that there is no questions. Everybody understands every feature very quickly.
It's nice.
Sergey, we'll ask you on the roadmap. If there are any key things you wanted to let viewers know that is coming? You did mention dark mode, light mode, which makes perfect sense in a studio environment. I personally like the light mode, but I understand that that's sometimes a concern. You get a lot of glare off of a bright white background. Is there any other features that you wanted to mention to the people watching and on what's coming up?
Yeah, I mean, there are a few things we are currently working on. First of all, we are enhancing our scenes. Like right now, there's it's pretty basic, I would say. We are adding the backgrounds, we're adding like frames, we're adding easier ways to kind of manage the scenes. So that's our top priority right now. We trying to make it even more useful in production, and trying to make the content that is being produced more compelling. The second thing we are working on is a 9:16 mode, which has been requested a lot.
Nice.
And I think Live 16 video is becoming much more popular, and Generation Z is watching everything in 9:16. They don't care about TVs anymore, so we want to support that. And the other thing to mention is Zoom integration. We want to be totally tools agnostic, and a lot of people love Zoom. They use Zoom every day, so we want people to be able to bring Zoom inputs into Switcher.ai easily.
That's very cool.
Well, we'd be excited to see a 9:16 or any other aspect ratio option in your offering, because as some of the people watching might know or don't know, that in a singular composition, we can give you multiple output URLs at different resolutions to deal with square 16:9, 9:16, and so forth. So that would be a super cool upgrade, I think, for you guys. To give an even more feature set. So that's really interesting. And you mentioned too briefly before we were talking, you were playing around with embedding using the Uno UI hosted as an iframe, which is an interesting idea, interesting concept to put the graphics right in the same browser tab, which would be a neat feature as well. Again, since both of our offerings are completely cloud-based, it makes it so flexible to be able to open up on a second monitor. Mostly in a studio, you're going to have multiple monitors or people tasked with just graphics and just switching. So in most instances, it's not but it's really neat to see your cloud-based offering like yours. Also using AWS for hosting of your services. We as well use AWS for storage of assets, and it's incredibly reliable, which is nice. So I really enjoyed it. I don't have any other questions. It's Catherine, if you have anything else, or Sergey to add. It's been really interesting, and really enjoyed seeing you.
I don't have anything. I think it's been great. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. Especially the Zoom integration. I mean, the other stuff is great, especially with their graphics, but I don't think I've heard about a direct Zoom integration before for inputs, and that's very interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you. I mean, we are excited to expand our partnership with Singular, and we definitely will be reaching out to you about 9:16. It's something that we kind of need for the product, and building in the Singular.ai into Switcher would be great, because as you've seen, I was switching between tabs during my demo, which is not something people like to do in the production.
I'm going to make a comment on that one specifically before we wrap up here. I have a number of customers that I've seen use the Edge browser. Edge has a nice feature where you can do sort of a split screen. It's sort of a split tab where you can have two browsers up simultaneously and dock a singular control UI, whether it's Studio or Uno, and what other things you need in the cloud. It could easily be Switcher. So it's a pretty good sort of middle ground, but yeah, obviously having it directly in your guys' UI, it just gives you more flexibility. So excited to see what you have coming down the pipeline. We'll definitely keep an eye out for it, and appreciate you being on our live stream today. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, take care.